New tonight, a controversial proposal at the federal level to sterilize wild horses and burros. Some say it would help manage the wild horse population. Others are dead set against it.
Rachel Louise just breaking down the proposal and the backlash from some animal advocates.
Sights like this, wild horses grazing on seemingly endless rugged lands, are a real-life version of those iconic images of the West that so many connect to Arizona. But in 2024, the Wild West isn't as wild as it once was.
In a world where so much that's wild is being lost, that there's still a corner of the West where wild horses still run free, and that matters, and we need to protect that.
Arizona's wild horses are stuck living in the middle of our reality as they look for places to graze and roam.
BLM says these lands aren't just full when it comes to these animals. They're at 3 times the carrying capacity, and it's now to the point where it's harmful for both the land and the animals.
The need to manage the number of wild horses isn't what's up for debate. Advocacy groups like Salt River Wild Horse Management Group agree populations can get out of control. But there's a split on how management should happen. In its request for 2025 funding, BLM says it wants to partially use permanent sterilization, but isn't specific about what that would look like. In the past, BLM has advocated for a surgical method.
These surgical procedures, like castration and removal of the ovaries, they stop the production of reproductive hormones, which drive the natural behaviors.
Salt River says it's found success in its fertility control program, which allows the pausing of fertility for a year without any surgery.
We have saved the government a lot of money, and we have saved the public a lot of anguish.
Before they started birth control, Salt River had a crop of over 100 foals in 1 year. After the control, 17 foals, then 2 per year since.
We want them to look at our program and say, hey, something is working.
BLM telling us Friday it can't comment on its current proposal because the legislation is still pending. But the Bureau has said the fertility control program would be too difficult to implement. Advocates say the stakes are high.
We feel that depending on how they implement it, it could present an extinction level threat to the wild free-roaming herds that exist today.
President Joe Biden will need to sign next year's budget before it goes into effect on October 1st. Budget negotiations are ongoing. For ABC 15's political team, I'm Rachel Louise Just.